man, music went away. I'm just like, keep dancing. I'm just like watching it. Every time I'm just like, oh, I'm dancing. Oh, wait, I gotta talk. Hey, you guys, what's going on? Welcome. Wednesday. It is Matchmaker Live. It's your girl, AP, Elisa Perifko. What's up? Welcome. I am your host and your date strategist. We're here tonight talking about how to make time to fall in love. And the reality is, if you are here, it's because you're having a little bit of issues falling in love. And I want to talk a little bit about that, actually, for an example. If you're watching this video and you're like, what is this about? I get it. I'm single. It's tough out there. Yeah, it is single. Yeah, you're single. Yeah, it's tough out there. But you got to think about why, right? So let's take a look-see here, for example. You're in the right place. If you are that person that has just you've been so busy, you're just the busiest. You're the busiest. You're so busy. Oh my gosh, you're so busy. How dare you work? How dare you go on a date? Oh gosh, so busy. So you're that busy person and you're the overachiever for yourself or for your boss. I don't know. We'll figure that out in a little bit. Or between your kids or your life, you just can barely find time for yourself. I get it. Or maybe it's just been way too long since you've been on a date or you've even remotely connected with somebody real. I understand that. Or maybe you're here because you're ready to find love and you're just straight up tired of it not showing up for you, right? You didn't plan on your life just not giving you a relationship or you not being in one. So where the heck is it? Right? I get it. But regardless of why you're here or how you're here, you are here because you're alone and it royally sucks. It royally sucks. And we were not designed or destined to be alone. A little biology. We are humans and it is in our DNA to have companions, to have companionship. So whatever thought or brain or theory you have in your head that says you shouldn't be craving a companion, you shouldn't be wanting to be with somebody else, throw it out the window because those things are real, it's biological, and you're in the right place because you should have those things. There's no reason you can't have those things. All right, but before we get there, you guys, again, hello, my name is Elisa Perifko. I am the resident host and date strategist of this awesome community here. And stick around, we're going to be giving away a free membership at the end of our show if you're not already in our VIP group. Which I will talk a little bit about that as well. We will be taking questions. And for those of you who are in our VIP group and who joined us for our donut making class with our friends over at Donate Sundays, we had so much fun on Sunday making donuts. There was donuts made by all. There was fun had by all. There was love connections made by all. Well, I take it back. I didn't necessarily make a donut. Mine turned into more of like a pumpkin muffin thing. I mean, like we thought it was going to be good and it just wasn't. That's okay. But anyway, the thought that matters. If you didn't come though, and you weren't there, that means you're not in our VIP group and you missed out on some really cool people and some cool times. So stick around. We'll be talking more about how you can join our group at the end of the show. And before we get there, we need to talk a little bit about you, okay, and why you're here. And we've already established that time is not your best friend, all right? So in order for us to figure out why that's the case, we need to ask a question. How long have you been single, all right? And again, this is not to point a magnifying glass, relax. It's not really about numbers, but it is about comparing. Time is one of the only mediums, is the only things you have to measure. So, when you're going through your life and you're going through jobs and you're going through relationships and you're going through hobbies and things, you have time to measure what's been going on and what you want. So the reason I bring this up is because if you're freshly single, if you are like 6 months out of being single, I love you so much. It's going to be okay. I promise. But this is not your place right now. We've got to chill your jets. I love you lots. but you need to heal. You don't need to be hopping in a relationship. I know that's some tough love, but I promise there's a spot for you. If you've been single for like 4 years, in that range, 4 years and under, year to 4 years, I would ask you what's been going on. All right. And I get it. Sometimes things happen in your life and, you can't be just like ready to date all the time. I understand that too. But I'm going to be asking, what have you been doing? And if you've been single 5 years and above, again, this is not a magic number. It's just really about you choosing to not be with somebody, be in a relationship for reasons that you think are way more important than the reasons that actually are. Okay. So forget how long you've been single for a second. Okay. Let's talk a bit about why, right? Why? I mean, we're just gonna dive into this, okay? And again, don't be self-deprecating, guys, tonight. Don't beat yourself up. You do that enough, all right? You do it enough. We all do it enough. But this is a good question, okay? You think about being in love, being with someone, having a relationship, not waking up alone, going to games with somebody, having fun with somebody. You think about these things a lot. So did you ever think about why you're spending most of your time not doing those things? I mean, especially if you were one of those people that raised your hand and said, yeah, I've been single for like over 5 years. And you've been daydreaming about being with somebody, and that means you've been not doing that. So we need to, why is that? We're going to figure it out. And I want to break this down for you because I know it's a little bit easier said than done, and there's a bunch of concepts here. But let's break this down. So why in a nutshell does your dating life feel more like work than love, right? I mean, isn't this supposed to be fun, like, or at least doable, or at least existent even, right? Is that too much to ask? I know that's what you're thinking, right? And so, and you're entitled to that opinion. But the reality is, I don't think you're really giving a relationship a shot here. I don't think you're really bringing it. I don't think you have a fair deck of cards, a fair hand that you're bringing to the table, like the other sets of cards that you're bringing to the table. I know you're going to tell me that you work like crazy, or you have kiddos that depend on you, and that you don't have time to date, right? Is that where we're at? And I get it, and that's fair. But inevitably what that means is that there's not enough time being spent on your love life. And you're going to tell me like, well, I'm not taking time away from my work, right? I'm not taking time. I can't take time away from my work. I can't take time away from my kids. And we're going to figure out in a little bit what really is behind that can't and why we think that's there, right? So even more, let's talk about, let's just keep diving, right? What is it that's keeping you from finding the time to date, right? Because if you want to make good connections with good folks who are like you, like-minded, you want to do all the things you just told me you wanted to do. You want to go to the game. You want your kids to meet the other kids, and you guys want to spend time together, and you want to do all these things. We got to break down, okay, what's stopping you from it? You told me you're not going on any dates. You told me this. You told me you've been single for a long freaking time. Why? What are you doing? What are you doing? Right? You are doing one of two things. Okay, you are either my workaholic, which I love you, and I feel you. But you are either my workaholic, and you are overachieving for yourself, which is unlikely, but most likely your boss. Most likely you have like a boss that rides you really hard. Okay. That I understand. And you spend all of your waking hours obsessing about your boss, obsessing about the project that's due, the thing that's done, the email you sent, the yada, yada, yada. You are that person that thinks about your boss more than you think about yourself. Or you're in the camp of your kids. You think about your kids constantly, and that is a natural thing. I am not here to tell you not to do that. I understand we have a 16 and a 13-year-old at home. I get it. We're in the same boat. However, it doesn't mean that you don't think about yourself. So, for example, we get it. The kids have unpredictable schedules, especially right now, unpredictable futures, especially right now. And it's super hard to think about your life but this is what I mean. It's super hard to think about your life when you're always thinking about theirs. Do you know what I mean? So, and at some point, you have to be your own person, right? You're not just going to be this person that constantly thinks about everything else. As much as you might wear that as a badge of honor, and I commend you, I mean, but it's not going to give you love and a relationship for you, right? This is coming together a little bit. Okay, so we've established that you're a workaholic, or you're spending a lot of time with your kids, or both, or you're obsessing about your kids, or both, you're worried about them. So let's break that down even more. What are those activities that are either happening at work, that are either happening with the kids, that are keeping you from this time you could have dating or finding a relationship, right? It's because it's important to you. This is not like, a nice to have. This is your life. This is your love life. This is a relationship. Let's remind ourselves of this here. This is not like having a sandwich on a Thursday, right? And I'm not letting you get away easy here, right? Hold on. Excuse me, guys. 1 second. Need a little sip of my soda. A little tickle in my throat. Okay. So the activities. Work. Here's the reality. I get it. The reason you're not dating is because if you're working, you're obsessing about your boss, and then by the time you do get home, you're exhausted. And if you've tried to online date, if you tried to anything date, and you've got a hectic job, it's like literally impossible to date. Like, that. If you've got a crazy job and you've tried to date at all, it's like mission impossible. I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. And therein lies the problem, though, right? One, you're thinking about your boss too much, your work too much, and also your energy's gone. Your energy's just out the window. And then two, with the kids, it's actually, ironically, the same sort of stuff. Same source is draining the same space in your heart, in your body, and in your brain that you actually need those reserves for a relationship. And so you're actually tapping into those survival places for others, for your boss, for your kids. You're actually tapping into your reserves, your extras, to give to them so you can inevitably be better, perform better, or protect better. And as noble as that is, and as awesome as it seems, I promise you, it's not going to get you a relationship. It's just not. And you know that. You know that hearing me say that. But inevitably, even if you deserve one, it doesn't mean you're going to get one, because a relationship, a connection, the really good stuff is only going to come to those who have carved out enough space to receive it. Because if you can't love yourself at least that much, there's no way you're going to be able to have remotely enough for this other person that hasn't come into the mix yet, right? I know you know what I'm saying. But sometimes we just got to hear this, or all the times we got to hear this, really. Anyway, okay. So we've concluded that we spend far more time working or worrying about the kids than we do our own worries. We've made that clear. Okay. So now what? Do we know what the real problem is? After all the yada yadas I just said, do we know what the real problem is? Because, and just to put in some context for you, the things you're worrying about, your job, that's a big deal. That's your finances, that's your stability. And let's review all the things that you've done to get your job. You've studied your tushy off. You've worked your tushy off. You've put tons of hours in. You've networked. You've applied. You've made resumes. You've made phone calls. You've gone on interviews. You've done all of these things. You've also pushed through moments that you were super not excited or motivated to do because you had to, because that's what you do. And when you're building a career, when you're getting jobs and you're building a future, that's what you have to do. If you want the good job, you want the good future, you have to invest, you have to spend some time, you have to really put energy towards it. Okay, let's put that aside. Let's talk about the kids, for example. When you take care of your kids, how do you take care of them? Do you we already established that you think about them constantly, right? You are, as you should and as you would as a parent, are putting yourself before them. But again, constantly looking for ways that you can help them and be there for them and protect them. But every time you do that is one moment, one place, that's one less chance for you to do that for yourself. So between you working your tush off at work and constantly thinking about your kids when they are or aren't in the room, there isn't much room for you to think about yourself, especially if your mind does get quiet for a second. My guess is you fall asleep. It's just a hunch, but that's my guess. Okay. So here's the nitty, okay? Here's the shift. Here's what I want you to think about. This question is actually twofold. It's not just why are you single, but why do you so deeply not want to be anymore, right? It's not, you've told me why you're single. You've told me all the things. You've told me you work a ton. You've told me about the time commitments, and we know we need to do some reprioritizing and give your relationships a real seat at the table here. But what is it that is really keeping you from getting in a relationship, and why do you not want to be alone? I mean, you come back to it, especially if you've been single for years. You know what I'm talking about. You hit those milestones, you hit the holidays, you hit those days where you're like, here I am, I'm alone, and you're playing the music and you're playing your shows, and you're constantly feeling this state of heavy loneliness, and on top of it, you feel bad about it. And you shouldn't, right? Listen, if you're in the camp, let me just say this. If you were in the camp of, single ladies, rock on, like all the single ladies, independent women, rock on. I love that for you. But chances are you don't actually feel that way if you're watching this video. So you actually want to be with somebody, and you should, because being with somebody who completes you is the best thing in the entire world. So first thing is you should stop feeling bad about that. Put that shame aside. And number two, really figure out why you don't want to be alone anymore, and let that really be the thing that comes to the table. Let that be the thing that you start saying. Don't let the phrase that you keep saying be about your lack of time and why it's going everywhere else. Why don't we let the phrase repeat about being that you do want that you deserve that, and that is actually what you were going to be expecting moving forward. So it's clear that you're prioritizing either your work or your kids over your life, when your love life really does need an equal seat at the table. And you know that. You've got your health, which is super important, that you're watching what you eat, you're working out, you're taking all the right meds, right? You're doing more things that you don't like to do with your health than you are that you do. I'm sure of it. And if you say you do, then you're liar pants on fire. Go away. I'm a New Yorker, so none of that's real. Anyway, but in reality, though, seriously, like, think about how hard it is to stay healthy these days. Think about how hard it is to keep your job these days and keep a good career in your business. Relationships, guys, are not any different. Hello, right? Isn't that the staple in your life? Isn't that one of the biggest staples in your life is your love, your relationship, getting married forever and ever, for better, for worse? And even if you're somebody that isn't sure if they want to be married or be in a long-term commitment, you at least want to be in some kind of commitment. You're still looking for some kind of connection. And that's never going to go away, because that's biology. That's literally inside of your biology, inside of your body. So instead of fighting it and suppressing it and refocusing it on different things and wondering why you're super depressed, own it. Say, hey, I'm a human. I crave companionship because it's human nature and human biology. And how do I give it a place in my space, a place in my schedule, as opposed to ignoring it, right? Just a little nugget. If this were a pizza pie, we just went from giving two halves to something else to thirds, giving you a little pizza. All right. Okay, cool. So, and I think we talked all about that, about just really understanding, to bring this into context for you guys. Let's take your job, like we talked about, you studied for it with your kids. it's why we do what we do every day. And if you could bring all these things to fruition, if you could have all these things, you would. And we do it here. We do it here in our community, in our amazing singles network here every day. And if you want that, then you're in the right place. So keep hanging out. But I get it. At this point, you're like, Alisa, I get it. I work too much and I don't talk about that. I work too much and then I need to talk more, that I need to love more. I get it. At least I need to like acknowledge myself. So now what? What can I do to change this is your question. That's a great question. So first, we've established we want your love life to have an equal seat at the table, and that you're gonna be focusing on it, because in order for you to get something good and something satisfying and something satiable and something that will last, you've got to put some investment in it, right? Some work in it, as we've established. So this is how we do it. And I'm going to give you my own little list. 1, you need to track thoughts only 4 times a day. If you're not somebody that journals, I'm not going to make you all of a sudden become a poetry writer. However, you need to understand that part of the problem is that you are unconsciously spending all of your time focusing on other people during the time that is reserved for you to be focusing on you. And that's why that love department, that little love area can't get filled, right? Because all those reserves are going to others. So this is how you do it. You're going to track your thoughts 4 times a day: morning, afternoon, late afternoon, night. Okay? At the end of the day, and actually your first week of doing this, give yourself a full week of writing before you reflect back on what it is you've written. But I want you to write it 4 times a day, and I want you to read through it at the end of each week. And at the end of each week, after you've read through all of your entries, I want you to take a little tally, a little score of who it was that you talked about in your journaling. Okay, make a little list of who you mentioned. And everybody who you mentioned gets a little tally of how many times you mentioned them. And not surprisingly, I think you'll start to see that there are patterns with the people and the thoughts and the worries that come into your brain on a daily basis. And that in reality, there's probably only a couple people who are really taking up your brain on a daily basis. And if you started to look at those thoughts, you'd go, oh, I don't really need to worry about that at this time. That's just me being extra. You start to see the areas that you can grab those little slots of reserves back. Not much, don't worry. I'm not asking you to not be who you are. I'm just saying you're going to find that you don't need to spend as much time as you are thinking and putting your energy in the places that you are. And we can get those reserves back for you and actually apply them to your dating life, and it will pay you back tenfold for you to actually have that relationship that you want. All right, so okay, a couple things. Okay, so you're writing your thoughts in your journal. You're going to see who you've been talking about. And then from there, when you take back the moments, you just really need to understand your kids are going to be fine. Your work's going to be fine. And in fact, I actually want you to switch your brain, because once you do this for yourself, once you take back those slivers and start applying it, a little minute by minute, half hour by half hour back to your love life, your work is going to skyrocket. Your productivity is going to be amazing. Your kiddos are going to be like weirded out how happy you are, but happy, because they're going to like that energy. And the very thing that you thought was going to pull away from them is actually going to add to them. And now you have room for your love life, your work, and your kiddos. And before you thought you didn't. So it's just a little magic, but a little mind shifting. But in order for you to do that, you guys, I want you just to remember yourself, why you're here. I know this is easier said than done. I get it. I understand this is all, theoretically here and there. You've tried all the things. But in order for you to really, really think about what you can do to change, you need to just remind yourself why you're here. When you get so granular that you're like, oh, I can't be in a relationship because I got the kids. I can't be in a relationship because I got work. They got this, all these things. How they're going to feel. What are they going to think? How's it going to what are they going to think about me, right? How does that outweigh you being alone forever? It doesn't, right? There's nothing that justifies you being miserable and alone forever. Your kids don't want that. Your boss doesn't want that, as miserable as they might seem, or not miserable. Your boss probably doesn't even care. So in reality, you need the most wonderful, loving reality check that these people, these essential people that you're giving your energy to, actually want you to take that energy back so you can actually give it to your love life. So remind yourself, why are you here, right? When we first started this, you told me you were here because enough was enough and you were over it. You're over it. You're like, whatever I need to do, the work's enough. I've given my years of my life to my job. I can give a second to my dating life. And you're recognizing that love is vital. Love is vital to your love life, right? This love is no longer a nice to have. A relationship is no longer like, wouldn't it be great if we went to Barbados this winter? No. Love is water, my friends. Relationships, connections, that is food, that is air. I need you to really bring up the hierarchy in terms of what's important. If you go back to even Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it's literally on the pyramid. Maslow's hierarchy of needs, love and belonging, it's on the pyramid. So there is no arguing with me there. And I'm venturing to say, you are here because you want to connect. So you're here, you're bringing this to the surface, you understand it, and you understand that we can't survive as humans without love and companionship. So follow your heart because we're here to do those things. Okay, so what's the next step? What do we do? You're like, great, I'm going to do it. I'm going to work. I'm going to have kids. I'm going to have a life. I'm going to not let it control me. I am going to have these things that I want and not be a grumpy person in 10 years and look back and have the same. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to gaslight everyone else around me who doesn't have the life, because I don't have the life that I want, right? That's not who you are. You're right. It's not, because you're going to take some next steps and what they are, right? So you're going to do the journaling, like we talked about. You're journaling 4 times a day. We talked about that. So we can determine where you're unwillingly and unknowingly giving those sacred hours away. We are going to once we've established those hours and we bring them back, there's a variety of ways you can date, right? And it's not just like, I know some of you are like, okay, I'm not going to like carve hours back in my day so I can just go on dating apps and be let down and hate that life. I'm not talking about, guys. There's a whole world of dating that you think you know about, but you don't, and that's okay because you've been working. It's okay. But here's the thing. There's a whole world of dating and people and tools and resources that are literally here to help you solve these problems, but you don't know they exist because your head's been so far up, everyone else is tushy. Right. And again, I don't blame you. We are in a crazy, weird generation of content being shoved down your throat. That I understand. But at the same time, when we go back to the basics, what's important to you? Maslow's, right? Love gets the seat at the table for you. It is air. It is a necessity. So we need to make moves. So that being said, next steps are to consider, okay, if I'm not comfortable taking time away from my work, what are some ways that I can continue to work on my love life that isn't going to take up a ton of time? And let me tell you, there are places that you can go that can give you a ton of resources to give you a whole range of things. Free communities, date coaches, vetting tools, matchmakers, date services. And you guys, these things are a whole range of things with a whole variety of levels of ways that they can help you. And some of you may be hearing about this for the first time. So when you join us and you come into our community, we're going to give you all the tools and information that you need to learn about what actually you need and what's right for you. So you don't feel so scared and like, you must do this thing. Don't worry about that. And in fact, I'm just going to let a couple of our members speak for themselves. A couple of my good friends here in our community just also struggling with time who fought through it and really doing some great stuff to find the love of their life. Go ahead, take a look. Here's a couple of great people from our community.
Can you hear me?
I can.
All right, perfect.
Hi.
What's up?
You're in the car. You're going somewhere.
I just finished my work. I'm about to go to the gym.
Oh, you're about to go to the gym. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, let's go to the gym. We should do this when you're at home. Because if you're in between like this and the gym, it's not a time you want to do this. Let's do this when you're like, talk about your love life and stuff. So I mean, it's up to you. We can. It's just
How it basically works?
it's a local singles group in Jersey and New York. And I'm a professional matchmaker, and we screen everybody in and out of the group to make sure they're real people, and not scammers,
Okay.
not, scammers. That's really what the whole point is. Where are you, by the way? Are you Jersey or New York? Where are you?
Brooklyn, New York.
You're Brooklyn. Okay, cool. So just let me know
Okay,
when you're.
Okay.
Hi, who's this?
Hi, how are you?
I wasn't sure because your screen name says.
Yeah, no, that's my account name.
Oh, okay. Because I will almost didn't let you in. Like I don't know who this is. Cool. How are you? Can I see your cute face so I know you're a real person?
Yeah, sure. Oh, look, let me see. Because I never used the app before.
Oh, welcome. Yeah.
There we go.
Look at you, handsome. Where you at? What you doing?
I'm at work right now. I'm in New Jersey.
Oh, you're in Jersey.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a crappy time to do this. You're working.
So it doesn't matter.
Matter.
Yeah, I haven't left the warehouse in like a month.
Oh, damn. You were like working all day, every day, huh?
Yep.
Do you want me to? I mean, I know you said it's a cool time, but do you want me to? Do you have a day off this week? Do you want me to reschedule for your day off?
To be honest, I don't know when I'm gonna have a day off.
All right, no worries. Tell me about your dating life. Sorry, start from the beginning. Talk to me.
Well, I dated here and there, nothing serious. Haven't found the right person, I guess.
All right, cool. Let's dig a little deeper. Here and there. Have you been in love?
Dated someone for like 4 years.
Yeah.
We broke up.
Gotcha. Okay. It's been 4 years, so we have not been in love for 4 years. Has there been anything? Have you had flings? Have you been on apps? What have you been doing to date?
Flings mostly. Like,
Okay.
I dated 2 different people for like a couple months, but they didn't like that I work a lot.
They don't like that you work a lot. What they want? You want a lazy bum? They want a lazy bum that sits home and eat bonbons? You can tell them like, yeah, what's up? I can point you in the direction of a lot of homies who don't work. So here, ladies, have a great time.
Yeah, I'm not like I like to work.
How do you meet women? What do you do? Like organically, apps, sites? What do you do?
Most of the people I dated, I just met like on random.
Okay, like in person, like
at a party or a bar or a restaurant.
Okay. What about in the last 6 months? Because that's been a lot tougher because of the pandemic and all that crazy stuff. Do you still do that? Or
I have not stopped working, not one bit.
Talk to me. Why do you think it's been 4 years since you've had another relationship?
Honestly, because I thought I was kind of like backing off from dating for a while, because that relationship did like hurt me.
Yeah.
Like there was a lot of good times. The reason why I stopped dating is because like she started going out with someone else while she was dating me.
Yeah.
So that kind of hurt me and made me untrust a lot of people.
Yeah, dude. That's the worst too, especially when she's your first love. Like that's like a double whammy. That's a bummer.
Yeah. Like I met her parents. I knew everything.
Yeah.
And funny thing, I was about to buy a condo for us to live in.
Yeah.
So like I was really stepping up.
Yeah. Well, and listen, it's not a testament of you, because the reality is she was seeking things for herself that you weren't there yet. Why now? Like what kind of triggered you now? Because you're still working. I see you working and hustling. So talk to me, what crossed your mind and you're like, you know what, I gotta start working on this?
Because I'm alone right now.
Yeah.
I don't really need anybody.
Yeah.
I don't really need someone, but it'll be nice to come home or just to be able to talk and catch up with someone after not seeing. Wow, like I have family, but it's not the same going with family than having a partner.
Yeah. So we're ready to start connecting. Okay, and what does that look like for you? Like, are you ready? Like, you're ready to revisit a relationship? Are you ready to start dating again?
I think I'm ready to start dating again and try it out again.
And you should, because not everybody is your ex. Most people aren't.
Yeah.
You're looking to connect with somebody virtually now and like get back out there in the winter, or you're looking to like.
I think virtually good now, and if it works out, then I'll try it out as I'll get out of work, take a day off, and go meet up with them.
All right, so we're putting ourselves back out there. What are you gonna do differently, I guess?
My friend tried to set me up online. I never did that.
Have you seen the movie The Wizard of Oz before?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you remember the scene? I always laugh when I talk about this. It makes me giggle because I made it up. It makes me laugh. The dude at the gate, and he opens the thing and he's like, "Who are you? You may see the wizard now." Like, you know, the part where like he lets them into Emerald City, the little guard at the gate. Okay, so that's me. Like, I'm the little guard at the gate, and I like screen everybody that comes through to make sure they're not like scammers or bots or serial killers. Okay, so anyway, but people come into this group. Some people have been dating online and they've been scammed and they're frustrated and they want to use certain parts of the group, and other people are like you, who are like, no, I don't date online, I'm just used to meeting people in person, and I can't right now because of the pandemic, so I'm looking for virtual in-person communities. And I run what we call dater checks on the daters. It's like, because you like fishing, right? So like, here we go. Before you and I got on the phone, I was on the phone. This is one of our VIP members. She was dating online and she gets a lot of weird attention. So she like needed, we run dater checks on all of the guys that she's going on dates with. So we make sure that they're legit. So if you were to date online, to make sure anybody you're dating they are who they say they are. Because there's a lot of catfishing going on. And then we run internal VIP groups for the VIP community. So like, if you were in that group, and you were interested.
All right, cool.
That's it, bro.
Popped up on Instagram. I'm like, let me go give it a try. Thank you.
Bro. All right, cool. Go back to work, get some rest. If you have any questions, let me know, and talk to you soon.
Well, today I'm only gonna get 3 hours, but that's not a problem.
All right. Well, keep the hustle alive, bro.
All right, thanks. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, love him so much. But really, guys, here's the thing. I know you hustle. It's, it's a tough time. We're in a place where I think there's a very few amount of us in this world who don't have to work day in and day out for what we have and what's around us. And this is all a little bit more reminder, though. Nobody says, I wish I worked more on my deathbed, right? Nobody says that. And we know that, and we hear it, and we watch it in movies, and we watch it in shows, but yet we still get up every day, and then we go back to our work day, and then we go back to obsessing about the thing. And so I'm just here, guys, to just wake you up just a little bit, because you can change it. You don't have to be this level of lonely. You don't even have to be lonely. Your life can be extraordinarily different with just slight little mind changes, with slight little shifts, which I know you actually want, which is why you're here. If not, you're a self-sabotager, and it's a whole other story, my love. Okay, but let's just recap, because I know we talked about a lot of different things, and I know these things are can feel kind of complex and just can feel like a lot. But I want to recap that if you are somebody who does not date, or hasn't dated, or hasn't been in love, or hasn't been in a relationship because you feel like you have a lack of time to do it. If you are watching this because you have a lack of time to do it, whether your job or your kids or whatever it is, and that has been the reason for longer than 6 months, if that has been the reason for longer than a year, it is no longer a real reason. It is now your excuse. It is now your shield. It is now your new normal. So that being said, the first question that we went over today was, why do you not want to be single? Why is it so important that you change that? Why? You need to answer that for yourself, because you don't want to be dead and alone forever. That is fair. Nobody wants that. Penguins don't even want that, okay? So let's think about that. You do not want to be working more on your deathbed. You want to be loving more and living more. So how do we change that today? How do we change that right now? So this perceived problem of I have no time, because you do have time, we've just proven that you have clearly been spending it on lots of different things, is actually the core problem of my expectations of where my time is going is wrong. my expectations about where my time should be going is wrong. That's what's actually happening. So once we know that, it becomes a little bit easier. You just start to notice. You just bring that to your attention. You're going to start to notice, and you'll start to make these little shifts. And before you know, you start to make these little shifts, a little more time for yourself. You'll start to meet some people, some energy, and different things will start to come into your life. But in reality, it won't just happen. There isn't a fairy godmother, despite what Cinderella story has let you know. Yes, I'm sorry, I'm spoiling this for you. But there is no fairy godmother, and you are not guaranteed a soulmate. You're just not. You have to go find them. You have to go find that person. If they're there, there's actually lots out there for you, but you can't just sit in your house and hope that they hit you in the face. Anything that has told you that is not real. And you should not use it as fact. You should not use it as your example to live your life or to have a love life. So that being said, you're like, where do I go then? What do I do? Well, you can come on over to our matchmaker school, our school of love, our network of love, or I don't even to call it our mall of love. But it's meetamatchmaker.com. Okay. This is our place, our community, our network of badass, amazing singles who are busy like you, who are warts like you, who are hustlers like you, who are doing everything else but loving on themselves. Okay, lots of singles, but more importantly, it's full of incredible data experts, matchmakers, the pros, people who get hired by the elite who aren't online, by the way, who you will never find online, who are looking for matches for their clients. And guess where they start? Here. In our community, our amazing vetted community of singles. They start here looking for you because they need matches, but also they're here to give you those tips, those strategies, those methods that you can do to start bringing love back into your life, a connection back into your life, so you are not day after day, week after week, month after month, literally holiday after holiday, year after year, wondering why you are still godforsakenly alone. Just stop it. We're going to stop it right now. The time is here. You're going to be to matchmaker.com. You are going to fill out a profile. You're going to join our community, and you're going to put an end to this problem step by step, layer by layer, and we're going to do it with you, and we can't wait to do that. And yeah, we can't wait to meet you. So anyway, we are here every week giving you all these goodies, giving you all these tips and lessons that you need to know about what you can do to really, really, help your life with dating and make some changes. We've got a question from Linda here. Hey, Linda. Oh, hi, beautiful. Oh, love you so much. I have time for dating, but being someone who enjoys being outside and active, I don't want to spend time surfing the internet for Mr. Wrong. I don't sit and sulk about being single. However, I would like to enjoy being with the right person. So I'm listening. Good. I love to hear that. It's really, and Linda, we talked last week was actually, we had talked a lot about selection last week. And then now more than ever, I think it's really overwhelming the amount of tools that everybody has. There's so many apps and there's so many sites and there's so many services now that there actually needs to be one curated place that can review all those things. And that's what we are. That's what we do here. And that's why we created this community, because wonderful, wonderful members like yourself, people like yourself, are so overwhelmed with what they can do. And they pick one site and hope it's going to be the thing. And it's just not. So when in reality, we actually need to pick the best site that's for you, or the best method that's for you, and the best avenue for you. And it takes a little bit of digging to do that. And so when you join a community of like-minded people who can share that with you, and experts who can give you that round or give you that that insight, it makes it different. But I would highly, highly suggest that, and I know we talked about this before, but about what you can do to make sure where it is that these people are, these guys that you're meeting, what sites you're meeting them on, and what patterns that is. And if you are changing up the sites and you're still seeing the patterns, well, then it's a different pattern altogether. But in reality, you just got to keep broadening where you're meeting people and having that selection. And again, if you're overwhelmed by that, then coming to a central location, a central train station, so to speak, like meetamatchmaker.com will get you there. Okay, cool, you guys. I love it. All right, if we don't have any other questions for this week. I think my team is going to let me know who won the giveaway. If not, we're gonna tell this person to book a time on my calendar to grab this giveaway, this magical giveaway. And the winner is Harry Stevenson. All right, Harry, love it. Can't wait to meet you, Harry. We're going to have so much fun. Go to meetamatchmaker.com, book your time with me. We are going to do that and have a chat and get you signed up for our community here so you can start absorbing the tips, meeting the people, using the tools, all of the good things. All right, you guys, until next time, until next week, please keep emailing us your questions, posting your questions, messaging us your questions. We cannot wait to meet you into our VIP community. And until then, until next time, keep safe, guys. Bye. Bye.